1919 Paris. Ink flows, sealing a new world. But in Berlin, the ink on those pages is already dry, and the currency is turning to dust. Stefan Zweig stands at a window, watching the street below. A man pushes a wheelbarrow piled high with banknotes, trading it all for a single loaf of bread. The math of survival has broken. Zweig scans the faces of the passers-by. They are gray, hollow, and fixed in a permanent, silent fury. He hears the low, rhythmic mutter of the crowd. "The state has cheated us," they whisper. The words hang in the cold air. His spectate heavy with the scent of coal smoke and desperation. This bitterness is not just a passing mood. It is a fuel. In the furnace of this economic ruin, the first embers of National Socialism begin to glow. The people do not look for hope anymore. They look for a target. The peace signed in Paris is already a ghost, and the fire is starting to spread. 1938, Prague. A radio crackles in a crowded square, the static cutting through the midday hum. Neville Chamberlain steps off a plane in London, waving a single sheet of paper. "Peace for our time," he declares, his voice tinny and distant. But in the streets of Prague, Hubert Ripka watches the crowd listen. The radio announcer confirms the news. The Sudetenland is gone. The words land like a physical blow. A woman standing near the fountain drops her bag of groceries. Apples roll across the cobblestones. Ignored. A man nearby leans his forehead against a cold brick wall, his shoulders shaking as he covers his face with his hands. No one moves to help. The news has stripped away the illusion of safety. They are not just defeated by an enemy. They are abandoned by their allies. The silence that follows is heavy, absolute, and suffocating. It is broken only by the sound of a single sharp sob, then another. The map of their country has been redrawn by strangers, and the people in the square stare at the ground, realizing that their homes have been signed away. 1936, Spain. The mud is thick, clinging to boots and freezing the marrow in the bones. George Orwell grips his rifle, the steel biting into his palms, his knuckles white against the damp wood. The trench is a narrow scar in the earth, offering nothing but a temporary reprieve from the chaos above. Suddenly, the drone of engines tears through the clouds. German planes scream overhead, their shadows flickering across the muddy floor of the trench like predatory birds. They are not dropping bombs on soldiers. They are testing their aim on civilian targets in the valley below. The ground shudders under the impact of the explosions. Orwell pulls his journal from his pocket, his hands trembling not from the cold, but from the clarity of the vision unfolding before him. He presses the pen to the paper, the ink smearing against the damp grain. "I am powerless here," he writes, the words jagged and sharp. He stares at the smoke rising in the distance, knowing with absolute certainty that this is the blueprint for a global fire. 1937, Nanking. John Rabe stands on a stone balcony, his lungs burning from the thick, acrid smoke rising from the streets below. The city is a machine of destruction, grinding life into ash. He holds a diary, his pen moving frantically across the parchment. Below, the courtyard is packed with families, their faces pressed against the cold stone, silent and terrified. Rabe steps down, his arm extended, the fabric band on his sleeve serving as a fragile barrier against the chaos. He faces the invaders at the gate. They do not shout, they do not hesitate, they move with cold, mechanical efficiency. Rabe stands his ground, his heart hammering against his ribs, but the soldiers look through him as if he were glass. He watches a bayonet catch the light, a sharp, clinical flash in the gloom. The air is heavy with the smell of iron and scorched earth. He writes the final line of the page, his hand shaking as the sound of boots on gravel signals the end of the line. 1938, Berlin. Ruth Andrews steps onto the pavement. The air is sharp, acrid with the smell of wet ash. Beneath her boots, thousands of glass shards glitter like diamonds, scattered across the street. She walks past a neighbor, but the man keeps his head bowed, eyes locked on the gutter, his body stiffening as she passes. No one speaks. No one offers a hand. The silence is absolute. She looks toward the horizon where synagogues smolder, the smoke rising in thick, black plumes. She realizes the law has vanished. The lights of civilization have gone out. The long night of the war has officially begun.